viewers, and welcome to Workers' Day. Today is May 1st, and it's a day all over the world where workers are celebrated nation globally. And today also draws awareness to the plight of workers in and outside the country. Today's Workers' Day. Workers are not leaving any stone unturned in vocal, vocalizing their frustrations over their plights. My name is Winifred Igwebo, and yes, wishing you a happy new month. Also, today is incidentally May 1st is new month. With me in the studio, as you can see, my Monday guest is a political scientist, is also a public affairs analyst, and yes.
Thank you for having me and happy Workers' Day to you
Happy
again.
Workers' Day. Happy
Yes,
Workers' Day.
it's a day for workers to echo what they want and also to share more of their challenges. But
Yes.
not like other
Yes.
clients where workers use a day like this to review how well they are doing, how well they are contributing to the economy, and what are they taking out of the economy. Because workers contribute a whole lot to any development that happens. We talk about professionals, they are workers. Talk about artisans, they are workers.
Yes,
So
they are
they
workers.
contribute a whole lot to the development of any country, and they need to be taken very, very important.
Thank you so much for that. That is just a snippet of what we are going to discuss because, as you can imagine, today's newspapers are washed with labor's stories. Let's start with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Leadership is living among the pack. It says, 10th Nance leadership. Lawan Akpabio at war over Senate. 10th Nance leadership. Lawan Akpabio at war over Senate. There's you are to okay, sorry, let me take that again. Yes, leadership newspaper. Lieutenant's leadership, Lawan Akpabio at war over Senate presidency, plot to change Senate rules to accommodate Oshomole takings. Tinubu may opt for former Edo governor. Lawan leading campaign against me, Akpabio. This is what leadership is leading with. That is the main story. But at the end of the day, they still also have another story. Mete Lawan Bajabi Meyala Atiku salute Nigerian workers. This is what we have on leadership. You have anything to say?
Right. Well, the issue of
The
Senate
focus is on the Senate presidency
presidency.
in today's leadership newspaper.
Right. If you look at Senate presidency, it's very, very important to the current president-elect and also important to Nigerians because sometimes we want somebody who is vibrant and who can take the lead and move Nigeria beyond where we used to be. We may also say that during the Bukola Saraki, most party people do not like his way of doing things. But as a Nigerian, do we benefit?
No, apart from people not liking the way he was doing things, people didn't also like the way he made as Senate president.
I think that's
You
the major
remember that
problem.
was what Buhari at the beginning said he was not bothered about who emerges.
He said he don't want to
Bother himself. That wasn't
into
bothered.
politics.
So at the end of the day, since he was
It
not
bites him
bothered,
harder.
exactly, we
Bites
saw what
him harder.
happened. Now that President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu is back, he's now taking at least control to get a firm grip on who becomes who.
Well, the fact remains that we wouldn't say he's behind someone for now because he's a very strong and vibrant politician and a
Yes.
former senator
He is.
at that. So
He is.
he wants to balance because if at
He
this
is.
point you start having problems, it's going to be very dangerous for him.
Yes.
So for me, like I always said, I wouldn't want to look at South. I want to look at Southeast. For me, I think Southeast is better for it, even though the chances of being impeached is very, very high because we have to look at the antecedent and the past things that have happened. Recovering Southeast emerged as Senate president, they have to share between all the states. One was impeached and the other one take it, another take it. So we wouldn't want to start with that kind of assertion, but I think it's better we look at the Southeast to balance because if you look at it, South just have presidents. before
Mm,
Muhammadu
mm,
Buhari, and it's not a small feat for you to have a president. So we have to like sometimes to balance that, make people to at least to feel belong at this point in time. But for Lawal is the current
Senate
Senate
president.
president, and I don't want to take it away from him. He has the power to still influence, and don't blame him for
Oh
that.
yes,
So
because
and that's not what
like we
Akpabio
saw
is
with
saying.
this Tambuwa,
Tambuwan,
you
yes,
know, he was
yes.
the one people Bajabila said he was the one that influenced
Right, right,
Dogara's appointment there,
right.
even though he was no
The
longer
the
in the National Assembly.
the Akpabio and Lawal is expected because if you look at the coming of the president-elect, they are not on the same camp. Akpabio was rooting for Tinubu. Remember, he was the first one to even step down for Tinubu.
Yes,
So also Lawal had its own camp and believe that he still have the control and the grip of the National Assembly. But as it is going now, I think the major determinant will be the president-elect because he wants to look at somebody who will work for. Perhaps we're not even looking at the deputy as well. It's wrong for you to be looking at the Senate president and not looking at the deputy. Where is the deputy coming from? That's what I mean. Because if the Northwest, if they zero the deputy to Northwest, they will canvass much more. You know, Northwest have a lot of, I think they have the highest Senate in the National Assembly. So if you can assure them that this is what you'll be having, by so doing, you will support. But in view of Oshomole is a first timer, so why would they want to because of him? If they even want to influence first timer to become Senate president, yeah, I will even be rooting for David Umahi. David Umahi is the first timer too, but it's a very he has shown that leadership skills over time and he has delivered. So that's just what I think.
Thank you so much. And the main news on today's leadership newspaper is the 61st posthumous birthday of our chairman, founding chairman of leadership media group, Mr. Sam Isaiah. Let's have leadership newspaper today. And the leadership is carrying the story we just finished head. Is about the leading story. 61st posthumous birthday. Our sources reflect on Sam Isaiah's big ideas. Yes, not that my chairman, late chairman, was a man full of big ideas. Urge federal government to confer national honor on the late publisher. As you can see the picture of Sam Isaiah.
Without missing words, when you see great people, you identify them either late or alive. This man has contributed immensely to the development of Nigeria in general and media sector. You can't take it away from. And also, in addition to that, even if you look at the presidency of APC, you can also not take his support out of it because he canvassed for democracy and it seems to be. I'm sure people should know that it is without being told, he actually deserves an honor because for you to even come to media space, take it, contribute to it, and come and institute your own office in the national, in the capital. It's not a small feat to even achieve such
and it was a man devoid of ethnic and religious bias. You can see that in leadership you have all nationalities working under him.
At a point, people ask, which state is he from? People started asking, which state is this man from? Because it's like it was a bridge to every ethnicity, every
he had no ethnic bias. He
at all.
Very, very accommodating, and also he was gender sensitive. Most editors you ever had with leadership, including yours sincerely, all females, he gave everybody equal opportunities.
And yours truly is being fine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really miss you, sir. Pray that God continue to rest your soul. Yeah. And that is the leadership newspaper. Just before we leave leadership, I want us to look at the editorial, and that is our stand. It's on page 3 of the leadership newspaper. Our stand today is as rightly so, is workers' rights and struggles. Workers' rights and struggles. Today is May Day. But of course, Nigerian workers are using the opportunity to vent on their grievances. On leadership, let's move over to other papers who are talking about Workers' Day today being celebrated. Let's go there. This day newspaper. Let's have this day. This day says Nigerian Labour Congress CSOs plead with judiciary to save Nigeria's democracy. This is the angle this day is looking at it today. NLC CSOs plead with judiciary to save Nigeria's democracy. Say and INEC has driven a into the electoral of country. NLC threatens to name, shame corrupt judges. I'll take that again. NLC CSOs plead with judiciary to save Nigeria's democracy. Say INEC has driven a nail into the electoral coffin of the country. NLC threatens to name, shame corrupt judges. From the THISDAY, let's see Punch. Punch says workers lament 8 year scorecard. Workers lament hardship. Score Buhari governor's law on welfare. 8 year scorecard. Workers lament hardship. Score Buhari governor's law on welfare. High cost of living has made no sense of minimum wage. 40% pay 40% pay rise unions. Pensioners still earning 500 naira, 750 naira monthly. Economy harsh under Buhari, say retirees. That is the top one. 8 year scorecard, workers lament hardship. Score Buhari governor's law on welfare. High cost of living has made nonsense of minimum wage. 40% pay rise unions. Pensioners still earning 500 naira, 750 naira monthly. Economy harsh under Buhari, says retirees. And from the Punch newspaper, we also have similar story on The Guardian. The Guardian says workers lament 8 years of unkept promises as minimum wage loses value. The Guardian. Workers lament 8 years of unkept promises as minimum wage loses value. That is on The Guardian newspaper. These are stories that have labor stories today, May 1st, as the world celebrates May Day. And from the Guardian, we move over to the Vanguard. Vanguard also has similar stories. May Day has been terrible, agonizing for workers. May Day has been terrible, agonizing for workers. That is Nigerian Labour Congress. It's been terrible, agonizing for workers, NLC. As workers in oil, electricity, maritime, other sectors grieve over continuous misery, poverty, hopelessness, ask government to address poverty, insecurity, unemployment, inflation, high cost of living, cite agenda for incoming government. That is a tales of woes coming from Nigerian Labour Congress on May Day. And just before you share your views on Workers' Day, let me just say something. I was over the weekend. I was with some set of people, and of course, I was not circumspect. I actually said that behind every failed government or conservative administration that we have so far, behind every failed government is the civil servant, and that because I said federal government has beautiful policies in place to checkmate, to act as check and balances.
Right.
I said for any politician that looks or that sees money, that is the civil servant that circumvents, that teaches them how to break the law. And of course, they almost had my head because one of them, that was why I said that I wasn't circumspect. I would have considered the garden before I made such a job. Because one of them is a retired top non-civil servant. How could I say that? Now, don't I know that politicians will actually destroy the civil servants who represent? I said, no, you cannot, because politicians do not have right to remove a director or even.
In fact, take it from where you put it.
So how do you see that?
Every minister
head.
and every like for instance, let's look at Adamu Adamu. Adamu Adamu is a journalist.
Yes.
What do you know about education? But he's coming to be Minister of Education. So he's going to be thought how to navigate.
Yes.
Somebody's going to
Like,
introduce
I told
the
them that,
education
look,
and everything
in
to
every
him.
ministry, the permanent secretary is the chief
He's the
accounting
chief
officer.
accounting officer.
So
And also
minister
he knew,
cannot have access to money.
except the
The
thought,
prime secretary, oh,
how
this is how we
this
can do it.
this how you can do this, how you
And
can take
they
it
were
further.
upset with me.
And like they all have what we call threshold.
Yes.
You also tell them how to abuse the threshold. That this threshold maybe is 50 million naira.
Yes.
This is how you take it. You can, and that's how, if you look at our procurement process, we have serious issue. We have contract splitting. So that's what leads to it. And it's only civil servants that understand the
process,
the technicality that involve in contract splitting.
But they were just so upset with me that
they will not be happy. You know why? They are not mostly happy.
I was not circumspect. I would have considered that gathering that they are actually.
It's because you bring somebody that is not professional on top of them. They always have issues with that.
Don't I know that the politicians should distress such civil servants? I said no. The politician cannot.
If you are so sure and know what you are doing in collaboration with other civil servants, and that's why you always say secretary to federal government is always very key, and that's why people are not taking it serious. You know what? Virtually all the civil servants are like working under secretary to the federal government. So if we have a good administrator to be the secretary to the federal government, you can as well make sure we have good economy, because he will now tell us the permanent secretary that he must do the right thing. If the right thing is not coming, please negate it, and and I assure you I will secure you. But if you don't have such security, and they also want to become rich, because they will imagine somebody who just got appointed within 6 months is now as rich as 500 million, and they will say, at least let me take my share too. That's why we must look at credibility. Honest, and look at them, they pretend a lot. We must bring it down. A civil servant would like to use a car of 500,000 naira, and it's having a mansion.
Yes. In this Abuja, most of these high rises that you're
right. They belong to them. They always want to hide and we don't have money. Yes. We don't have money. Until they're out of that service, or you have opportunity of getting close to them, you don't see their mansion, their house in Maitama, they cost civil servant having a house in Maitama. Yes. How come? To have that house in Maitama is not cheap at all.
Said there was a protocol officer in FCD over the years, and you see his house in Maitama. You think that
like, what do you expect now? When you even become protocol, you show them protocol how to do the business itself.
So the truth must be said, in the sense that are they, like in your views, are they actually living up to expectations?
The workers, to be sincere, a good economy would have had a good workers, a professional workers, and a bad economy as well could be defined as a bad worker. So I think all in all, they are on average. They also expect to see the largesse and forget about the work. So let's do the work and expect the money. But for me, they are just average.
Don't you think that there's a saying that an adage that says that to whom much is given, much is also expected? So
for someone like me who does not work for civil service, honestly, I feel cheated sometimes, because this same civil servant have pension, they have what do you call it, insurance, they have HMO, they have NHIS, they have all this security. You want the security, you have the security. For me, I do not have opportunity of all this. Perhaps by the time you retire, you also retire with 20 to 30 million naira. But I think it's quite okay. But the issue is that they are looking at the politicians and they are comparing their life with a politician. So you can as well resign as a civil servant and go and also contest if that's what you want. But for me, I think on average, they are very, very, very low. Unlike before, that a civil servant find it difficult to have a house. Check. Most of them have a car and they have a house. So which is on average, it's a very good. Even though we continue campaigning,
most of those ones are gotten illegally anyway.
But if that's another thing. If you look at Oronsaye,
remember
Oronsaye report?
No. That had to university has so much.
That's why I said you have to look at again at Oronsaye report. What does this say? People in NNPC, people in JAM, people in all these parastatals and agencies, they get more money from costing servants. People in Ministry of Finance will collect 65,000 naira as a fresh graduate, and a fresh graduate in NNPC is collecting 250,000. What is happening? The people in the Ministry of Petroleum are getting 65,000 naira minimum, and maybe for new entrance. People in NLNG and other sectors are getting 300,000 naira per month. This thing should be harmonized. If you are a civil servant and you are in level 8, the salary should be the same. Not that somebody in level 8
there's a way they rate it. People, productive organizations like
Very wrong.
NNPC.
Nobody choose
Those
not to be in
why
productive office. That's the question. They are all civil servants. So if I'm in NITCOM or I'm in content, what have you, I also can also work in ministry. So if somebody wants to work in ministry, does not choose. It's where they find themselves. So if somebody that work in downstream sector of petroleum and somebody that work in Federal Ministry of Finance or Federal Ministry of Agriculture cannot get the same thing. It's funny. Do you know the worst thing? The main ministry, for instance, Ministry of Agriculture, the main people in the ministry are collecting 65,000. All the agencies and parastatals under them are collecting more of 250,000. It does not make any sense. So I think I was thinking, well, because I was trying to raise it that all the salary of people in civil service should be harmonized. But Buhari said he would do it. He did not do it, and it's a cheat on their part.
What about the dichotomy between BSc and HND?
Up till now, it's still a
yeah,
big
successive governments
issue.
have made
We
declaration
will do it, we will do that.
I don't know what is taking so long to do that.
No problem.
Because
Just
a
change
BSc holder starts on level 8, while
7,
HND
and there's a level you
7.
can even get to as an HND.
Yes.
You cannot post. But I think there's a lacuna that we must look at, because basically university is built up for theoretical more.
Yes.
Why polytechnic is
for
so
practical.
when you see a polytechnic graduate of engineering, please take it for him. It's very, very sound compared to university. And upon that, you see somebody should still be. So I think they should upgrade those polytechnics to bachelor of, which we think by now they would have achieved it. Let them be at the same level, this level of achievement, because it's sad that somebody who, in fact, the polytechnic students spend 5 years because they have to go for 1 year IT or what have you, and they will still come back. But a university student will go graduate within 4 years, and you still place him ahead of the polytechnic. It's not fair. I actually went to university, but nevertheless, there should be a balance to it.
And given the fact that they actually don't spend more years.
Right, and they learn more. In fact,
yes.
let me even tell you this more. At university, the courses we learn are number are low compared to polytechnic. A person will study 14 courses.
Go for IT, they will go for IT.
14 courses, and university will be doing 9, 10. So we should have to look at that. And I hope this.
I really don't know why it's stumbling block, because even during Obasanjo's BG, he has actually said, "Oh, they are going to look into it," and that has been the case.
That's not even really the problem. You know my issue. Correct. This engineering. Do you know there is a dichotomy there too? If you have BSc, you can go ahead and do the professional program. But if you have HND, they say no, you cannot. I have a friend who cannot. He has to like go for start a BSc again, university, or you go and have masters. Remember, look at the rigor. After your HND, you have to do PGD before you now do MSc. Look at that one. So there's a serious dichotomy even in current, which is very sad. And I think the authorities should look at that. Somebody who actually go for polytechnic for engineering courses without rigor of learning, they are not saying no, we cannot consider you. That is somebody who went to university that can also. What are you trying to create? It's a serious dichotomy. I think federal government should look into it.
And one other issue before we could leave workers being stories is the fact that over time we've seen, because of their incessant strike, they always go on strike, and as we speak, the resident doctors are already giving about 2 weeks ultimatum for their salary to be reviewed 200% or else. Meanwhile, and this has brought me to the question too. Over the time, like the minister pointed it out over the years, and it's become the norm. We've seen that the federal government has become the highest, largest employer, not just highest paying, it's highest paying. But normally, in a normal same climate, it's supposed to be the private sector.
Right. We are supposed to
because this sector will go on strike. The federal government has no choice than to keep to their demands. The other ones also warming up goes on strike, and the federal government gives in to its demands, increase their wages. So what are we having? That is why there's so much competition now in federal service jobs.
Well, it is still not correct. It is still not correct that
people want to work there because of the enumeration.
It is still not correct that federal government employ more.
No, not more, highest.
That's
almost the highest payout.
Yes.
Which is not supposed to be the private sector.
The fact just remains that in the 90s, everybody wants to work in the bank. Everybody wants to work in the way they will not shoot. But later, after Ambassador came, you never really did well. he tried to upgrade civil service and make sure he streamlined them. Even though he downsized some and what have you, but he makes civil servant much more attractive. You agree with me that it's only in civil servant that you doing two jobs, that you go to work and weekend to do other business. That's part of
You
you
close
close
early,
early, they do other. Sometimes you don't
and
even
you
go to
run.
work. Sometimes you don't go to work.
I said this way the things
Major
I
of them.
mentioned that over the weekend and they almost had my head.
Most of them don't even go to
That by 4
go
o'clock
to
they're
work.
already waiting for the buses that will take them
Ideally, the federal government is expected
to
to
their
take
location.
the lead in terms of workerism of
But
workers.
that's what I'm saying. That but don't you think that it's not too nice because the private sector is supposed to be the highest
It's not bad.
payer
When they take the
payer
lead,
payer.
there are some jobs that still people than federal government work. You only have more opportunity in federal government work to do to move for time to. Do you get? But in terms of taking the lead, I think it's a good
You
one.
have so many
Because you know why?
governments
You know why
that
they are
actually
always good?
quoted that from the civil service.
You know why
from
it is
federal
good?
government.
If federal government does not raise salary from 30,000 above, most organized private sector will still be at that level sometimes. So they have to take the lead sometimes and to engender and encourage other that you must increase the salary. Because when you don't increase the salary of worker, you agree with that most graduate salary is still 30,000. Haven't you noticed that most of our graduates, not in civil servant,
Okay.
I mean in private sector, they don't try to respect them and say, if you like take, there are a lot of people that want to. So government is doing well, and that's why most Nigerians want to work in federal, especially federal work. It's not even some states are still
That's what I'm
paying
saying.
very
And
federal
that is
work.
the reason why most primary schools and even the head workers in that level, we want them their salary scale to be under federal government or even state government because they know that there's disparity.
Exactly.
In salary.
And in conclusion to the workers' day, this incoming government to expect a very serious strike beyond what we've seen before. You know why? Because of this new NLC chairman, Joe Ajero. If you look at Joe Ajero, he's just waiting for it to stabilize. He had his way, and he's most respected. Even before he became.
We didn't really feel his impact.
People respect.
Do we still have
Ayuba Waba?
Yes.
People don't really respect it, but Joe Ajero command respect.
Joe Ajero was supposed to even be. There was a faction that time, but
maybe they are looking at North South.
They prevailed on him
to hold on.
So there was a faction there.
Right, but so Joe Ajero is going to be much more active. I was listening to him this morning and he was talking even about the denial of the Eagle Squad, though they have approved things with them now. But the fact is that if you look at the way he's talking, he's looking at sector by sector. You agree with that? When he touchlights the
denial of the use of the Eagle Squad, I was like, no, why is this government always putting this like not put forward?
No, what they are saying is that they are preparing it for May 29.
And just for a day.
So the fact is that I think there is a gap in community. If not, it's hard that you now deny the owner of the space itself. Because it's a worker, it's civil service that also manage that space. It's a worker. So how can you deny worker his own space? It's quite appalling and funny. But I'm happy that they have prevailed on them and it has come to reality. But Joe Ajero that I know is looking at issues sector by sector. Remember when you look at the Naira redesign, everything comes to normal. When he talks about
before 2 days, Sanusi had already the CBN governor, Emefiele quickly issued circular to the bank executives. Oh, please release the old notes.
Yes, and SA to president on media also said no. CBN should respect the law.
I was already meeting with a bank executive.
You could also see that until he also intervened in petroleum. That's why we have find it easy now. So I like him to go. Let him go sector by sector. Let him also look at importation and productivity in Nigeria. Let him looking at that sector by. If you look at the sector by sector, it makes a much more sense. So it's going to be a vibrant one. But trust the incoming president. He's a player too. So, but the joy is that he's not private sector. Being a Lagos state governor, that Lagos depends on private sector solely. So we are looking at him to also engender a lot of foreign direct investment and more diplomatic business that we will have in Nigeria. Because a lot of things are looking at looking at it because I was NTA maybe 3 days ago when we were discussing about this DSTV, what have you on the increment. And I was saying that well, it's just Nigerian problem. We have about three alternatives. You know, those small alternatives, encourage them and empower them. You know, we have our own starter that we call it. We have the TST, we have concert. And I'm sure you know the concert is for Lagos. And by the time they engender and give them opportunity, if you have been to all these new, you see that it's what government need to because even look at all the STV and what have you, there's still capital flight on their part. We are not seeing significant community social responsibility they are taking here in Nigeria. So we need to empower our own. And apart from that, how can you increase about 17% increment on about 2.5 million people that are using this service? So there is a way, and perhaps my own pain is that they said they don't allow pay-per-view, they don't allow pay as you go, they don't allow pay per day, they don't also allow me to choose my bouquet. So what's the problem? I don't know.
And you know, I was
you give me about 350 channels. What am I using?
They are not even effective. I was like,
10 that I want. Let me select 10 that I want.
And they even remove some
channels. So that's the challenge. So somebody needs to look into that. And you know, they went to National Assembly. And the thing is, National Assembly is always a problem. You have to change the NBC Act that will empower them to be able to ask them, why are you increasing this? Because they say it's operational cost. And operational cost, you are not putting 70%.
But you also blame them for that. Because when I saw their reasons for increasing their salary, operational cost, it's not easy for
at 17%.
We that don't even run business.
At 17%.
There's no power. When did I just get lights? Yesterday.
It's quite hard.
It's terrible, and they have to fuel that their generator.
The fact is that most companies in Nigeria are lazy. You know why? What is there for a big company like that to generate its own power? An extent. A good organization like all these people that went to Ghana and Niger, they can build their own power plant and solve this problem. And I'm happy that National Assembly has now given rights to states. Every state can now have their own. I see not Southwest are now having it. Signed into law that every state have the right to have their own rate, to have their own power plant. So we're now looking at all these big states. A state like Port Harcourt should be able to champion it and help all the South. A state like Lagos to champion it and help all the Southwest. A state like Kano to champion it. Southeast, I mean not east, where are we going to use? Maiduguri is in comatose, but Gombe is coming up. Gombe should also champion such, and perhaps every industrial area should have their own power. Let them not disturb the community on their power. I think by this, in the next 2 years, I expect us to hit like 20,000 megawatts.
I hope so too, because Nigeria has not really exceeded 4,000 megawatts, even at its best, at its optimum best. And even presently in this administration has dipped further to about 3,200 according to reports.
Why a country with 60 million have 50,000 megawatts? The country with 200 million cannot be boast of 5,000. Too bad. Too bad.
At its optimum best. Before we leave NLC story, let's see what Daily Independent also has on that story. Daily Independent says incoming government may consider phased fuel subsidy removal. Incoming government may consider phased fuel subsidy removal. That is the story they have on this independent Labour's Day. That is Daily Independent for you. So,
well, the fact remains that.
But was it suspended or was it not suspended? Because
on
Friday, papers reported that
there is no
suspended.
way.
However,
there is no way this government or incoming government in a short while can remove fuel subsidy. You must provide some things for grant before you can remove fuel subsidy. Number one, our refinery, at least 2, should be working. If they are not working, you cannot remove it. Dangote refinery should come on board. Modular refinery should be suited. There must be availability of transportation system, because you know when it happens, L5 bus, how many do you see on the street again? So something like that, like what they have in Lagos. I think Lagos is more organized in terms of urban mass transit. We should have that across the state that will make workers not to really pay the fuel subsidy. But you know why? When you remove fuel subsidy and the fuel increases, it has multiplier effects on pepper seller. fish
Of
seller,
course, it does.
mechanic,
Every sector
radio
of the
repairer,
economy.
anything you think of, it will be affected. So these are the things that will be considered, and they also give us 800 billion
800
billion
billion
naira.
dollars.
It's naira. When you cover this 800 billion naira. Now they now said they want to give 10,000 households, that is 50 million Nigerians. My issue is that you don't give consumption money. Once you give money for consumption, you kill the economy, and this inflation we are looking at will skyrocket. You must give commercial oriented money. For instance, maybe people that sells in the market go and pay for their supplier. Let them supply them those items. Let them sell. So from there will be economic activities that will make people busy and create some level of
However,
employment.
I think I had a guest in the studio who saw
Right.
it differently. He said, "Why don't you, NNPC, NNPCCL, or what is it
Yes, NMPC Limited.
called? Limited, purchase some filling stations.
Right. Yes.
Okay, now why don't you designate some that commercial vehicles can go there
This is the amount you are buying.
to buy commercial, just for commercial."
But
That way,
it
so that
doesn't-
they don't have to increase maybe earth fare for.
It's not rational.
It will not inflict
It's
further
not
affect prices of
it's
goods.
not rational, and it's not sustainable. You know why?
Why do you say so?
How do you in Abuja? How do you even differentiate commercial and private?
Even with
In
the number
Abuja.
plate.
In Abuja, how can you?
Number plate.
That's not how.
You know the number plate. The
Don't-
number plate is different
The
from
fact is that
personal vehicles.
people will definitely do what is sustainable. How long will you do that?
So
the
why
fact
it's
that-
not free? I'm not saying no. The guy,
I know.
my guest was not saying they should sit free. He
Reduce
said
at a reduction at a
yes,
reduced
at a
price.
reduced
As
normal
I said,
price.
it's not
You
sustainable.
could just because
If
of course,
they
by
buy
number
at a
plates,
reduced
you
price,
know commercial
will you be
vehicles.
monitoring them to collect money from the passengers? No. That's what I'm saying. It has effect because once look at our commercial drivers. Once there's fuel queue today,
Yes.
tomorrow they will do what?
Increase it.
And by the time the thing will come back
It
to
doesn't
normal,
even go down.
it doesn't
It
go
doesn't
down.
go
So
down.
and you don't
Once
have a
I had
mechanism
yes.
to say NURTW will do this, will do that. It's not sustainable. So we must look at a sustainable way of managing it. The only sustainable way is to have internal sufficient availability of fuel. Once you have availability, remember, you will not be collecting international, you will not be selling at international price. You'll be selling at a local price because we are getting getting the crude in Nigeria, refine it in Nigeria, sell it in Nigeria. So you really need to look at the cost of everything. You not be looking at global. It happens in what do you call it, in Saudi Arabia with Saudi Aramco, because they produce locally. It's very very cheap, and that's what we should do. So we should make sure that let's empower modular refinery. If the main refinery modular refinery can be completed in a year.
But some of the modular refineries
Where?
are already working, like one in Edo State.
Right.
Do you know that I was somehow taken aback when the governor said that? And because during the fuel scarcity, even there was no even for it in Edo State. The few ones available, they bought at exorbitant price. I think they were buying over 300 and something.
Right.
I read the report from the state government that it's already supplying, but actually it cannot meet the needs of. I was surprised.
That modular refinery is working.
It's already working. Yet there's always few.
And when you say modular refinery, a state like Edo may need to have like 10 to really meet up.
I think maybe it's also exporting.
That's what I'm saying. So if they have like 10, that would back up. If each state have 3, 4, 5, 10, modular refinery, before we wouldn't have, and that's why part of the failure. I think they are still on. Some are still
the
working.
refinery cannot even supply.
If it can meet even the local government, it's not. Let's say you local government,
I forgot
and
the excuses the governor gave that they are trying, just business. Anyway, just before we go, we still have another paper for our review, and that is the nation. The nation is leading with a different story altogether, still on politics. Let's have the nation. You remain sore losers, federal government, PDP, Labour Party. You remain sore losers, federal government, PDP, Labour Party. Don't preempt tribunal outcome, opposition parties fire back. That is exactly where I'm going to. The case is in court. The tribunal has almost started sitting, and yet you are still making remarks for
Well, so sometimes you see
I don't see it in good taste.
APC as opposition.
I
They are
don't see-
behaving like
an
opposition
I don't see it in good
as a
taste. No,
leading.
federal government itself now intervening.
And what do you
It's
expect?
not nice.
So who is the federal government? If you look at who spokes, it should be the spokesperson of the federal government, which is APC. So the fact just means that I want.
Is that not prejudice?
They are preempting, not prejudice, because they are not giving a final verdict. They're not giving an outcome. Right? They're just reminding them that you're a loser. But don't blame them. We don't have a vibrant opposition. Instead of them to be much more technical, they're also engaging in some things. As an opposition, you have to be technical and be constructive in your critics and what that. And Nigeria will take it to you. But don't look at what they are saying. I expect PDP Labour to continue like this. You know why? It creates a vibrancy for them. Because once they go down without talking, Nigeria will forget about it. And that's why people go to court. That's why people go to court.
It's so how do I put it now? It's such a surprise that the opposition, they are still so vibrant, and even because of court case. There's first time that we are seeing that case is in court and people are actually hopeful, waiting for the outcome of the election.
Which is expected from every politician. If somebody who emerged third can become governor, the case of Imo, fourth, and become governor in Imo. If Leon of Bayelsa can lose to Doyendiri, technically. So you can see that you have to try your luck. Maybe your luck will. So Labour
I'm not
Party,
talking about the supporters also still being hopeful.
They should because they actually vote. You know, when you vote, you understand. You think your candidate should be the winner.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me
so much. Happy Workers' Day and a happy New Year too. I just hope this reform the Nigerian Labour Congress is going to be for the upfront and the progress of Nigerian workers.
That's our hope.
Thank you so much. I look forward to having you same time to the station.
Thank you for having me.
Well, viewers, this is where we end today's Nigerian Labour Congress Workers' Day stories and on our review this morning. Don't forget, same time to the station tomorrow. It's another edition of our paper review. I am waiting for you to see you then.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080 36